You're listening to EAVA FM on 102.5. I'm your host, Donna, with the show called In the Meantime. I just said that. And today we have a guest in our studio. Fayad has come to talk to us from a charity organisation called Groundworks, Green Doctors.
We're energy advisors to help people save money on their bills, make them more aware of their carbon footprint, and also just to keep warm. And that's something that we're trying to do in this weather.
Absolutely, especially today. Yes, indeed.
So each year we get about 20,000 electrical fires in domestic properties. So it's something
I saw that.
Yeah, so we're trying to cut that down, of course. Yeah, definitely. And a lot of it is actually avoidable. So it can be just negligence. So us putting that into our service is just creating awareness, and hopefully we can cut that number down and keep people safe.
What's the number one cause of fire with regard to electrical safety?
It's so 9 out of 10 of those electrical fires are due to electrical products. So that could be faulty products or people keeping things charging for longer than they should be, causing overheating, keeping flammable objects nearby heaters. So it's a lot of things, but yeah, it's due to electrical products and probably not using them correctly and safely. So
how do you not use an electrical product safely?
By not following the instructions. I know it sounds quite straightforward, but a lot of electrical products do come with instruction manuals, and I know we all like to put them away and just plug it in and get on with it, but it's really important to have a look at it, have a quick read, and just check what the do's and don'ts. It's potentially life-saving. One I do like to tell people about that's especially important is like your power drills, for example.
Power drills?
Yeah, so like the DIY tools that you have at home. So when you're charging those, they are quite high voltage for the charges. So some people like to leave that in the garage, for example, charging overnight so it's ready for the next day. There's been a lot of fires in garages because of that. So the battery would overheat once it's reached capacity, and after that it'll catch on to like a flammable material, and it just set fire to the whole building.
Oh my gosh.
So that's something that you should keep aware. Don't leave things charging overnight. That's one of the things I definitely want to push. Don't leave charging things overnight. It's even phones like people charge it, leave it by their bed on the carpet, for example. Carpet is also flammable. The battery can overheat and catch fire to that as well. So we always say to try and keep charging on flat hard surfaces. That will reduce the risk.
That's really good. That's something that a lot of people do. I mean, I do it myself, charge my phone overnight, probably because a lot of people they still use their phones up until they're ready to sleep. Mm-hmm. So they will have used a lot of the charge that they probably, had for the that would have lasted them through the night had they been sleeping.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the advice there is to put it on a flat, hard surface, something like a tabletop,
bedside table, something along those lines. Definitely not carpet if you can avoid it.
Not carpet.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's difficult, isn't it, these days, because there are so many electrical products that we have in our houses and in our places. We've got I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I've got loads, but so there's sockets as well. Adapters. Like I've got an adapter on right now.
Okay.
Right. Charging my computer, and I've got there's phones. There's also again computers.
Yes.
So how do we sometimes need to be using them up until because of the type of lifestyle that we have. So how can we best be aware of not having to have them on charge for too long?
Sure. So one of the things that we also need to do is visual checks. Sorry. So checking for frayed cables, anything like that. If it's if you can see like burning on the side of the sockets or something like that, that's something to be cautious of. So in terms of charging overnight, there's not really a way of getting around it other than behavioral changes. Unfortunately, it's also good in terms of like our mental health as well, not to have a screen up until the night time. So I understand people do want to wind down and stuff like that, but it's good to have like an hour before where you put your phone on charge and have a break and, you know, just connect with the darkness, I guess, and you know, wind down.
Connect with the darkness. I like
wind
that.
down
Yes.
naturally, you know.
Yeah. Because you know, we do have there's a lot of distractions in our day to day.
Yes.
And yes, we use our phones for pretty much everything. So yeah. Okay. So you talked to us about drills and stuff like that. Any other types of electrical equipment that we should probably be aware of, please?
One that definitely is growing in popularity is electric bikes and scooters.
Oh, wow.
So those are things that have high capacity batteries as well. So along the same lines with the power drills, do not charge them overnight. Those are probably even more at risk of causing fires. And as they're growing popularity, there's a lot more in the market, and there's a lot more competition. So everyone's trying to be a bit cheaper. So you need to be a bit more cautious into what you're buying. If it's a bit too cheap, there's probably a reason it's a bit too cheap. They're probably not putting as much into the materials, into the safeguarding, and the how do you call it? There's like protection fuse boxes as well. So they probably the reason that it's cheaper is that they've neglected those aspects of the product. So if it's a bit too cheap, it's probably for a reason. So in terms of the batteries as well, you do get aftermarket batteries for the electric scooters. Those we don't recommend unless it's from the manufacturer itself.
Sorry, say that again. Aftermarket. Did you say aftermarket batteries?
Yeah. So
what does that mean?
So so batteries all have like a lifespan. For example, after a certain time, they don't have the same capacity to run. So you can purchase batteries that would slot into the same position, but they're not from the manufacturer, and they typically are cheaper. So using that is not advised because there's a reason it's not being sold by the manufacturer. It won't work exactly with that product, and sometimes it could be just like the spacing between the components, for example, and after some time that could cause again overheating and like cause a fire, for example. Yeah.
Okay, so is there because sometimes you do need to get an extra battery.
Yeah. How
can we be more aware of what it is we're buying and why we need it?
So I would say,
because obviously it'd be cheap. It's cheaper to buy a battery than it is to buy the same product, which is going to go up in value. So how do you recommend we go about that?
So I would recommend first and foremost buying it from first and foremost, it's another thing that we should do is actually register our product. That's another thing that we should definitely do. So it's not just the warranty aspect of it. So if something does go wrong, the manufacturer can contact you. So say they've got a batch of scooters, for example. If you register your product online with your product number, serial number, whatever it is, if they know that batch has a fault in it, because previous customers have complained, for example, they'll know to contact you and say, look, there's an issue with this one. We are going to have to recall it. It's not safe to use. So that's one thing that can prevent possible issues. Another thing is, you're covered by warranty. So if something does go wrong, they'll be able to replace parts and it won't be out of your pocket. Buying from the manufacturer themselves for the battery, because it's something that they produce, so they'll make things that work and are compatible with it. But it's not that you shouldn't buy. It's just better to avoid it. But if you do the due diligence in terms of research and checking reviews on online products, if they've got the stamp to be used in the UK compliance, that's another thing that you can use. But try not to buy things that are too cheap, because there's probably a reason that it's that cheap. Okay.
So I'm looking through your booklet at the moment, and you've got the visual checks.
Yeah.
Which I think you went through a couple of them.
Yeah, just like the fraying cables and ensure plugs are plugged in properly, for example. Don't have loose cables for tripping hazards. Don't keep things next to, like heaters, for example, should keep them a metre away from furniture and things like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. All right. We tend to, when we've got a heater, we tend to sort of like have it as close to you as possible, and that might be, you might be sitting, you might be in your bed, you might be doing, I don't know, we tend to radiate toward the heat, for a better term of phrase.
Yeah.
So you're saying that it needs to be a metre away.
Ideally, yes. Especially with the convector heaters. Those are the ones with the fins at the top, like the grill, that push out the heat.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're familiar
like
with those.
Oil radiators and stuff like that?
No, oil radiator, not so much. Those don't actually have like heat blowing out.
Okay.
They actually radiate the heat, right?
Yeah.
So the convector ones are the ones where they're like a rectangle, and at the top they've got fins that you can feel the air coming out.
Yeah.
So those ones especially, they're more prone to like catching fire. Covering them is an absolute no-no. Yeah. I know some people are like, oh, it's just going to dry my clothes quicker, but what happens when you forget about it? Then you'll start seeing smoke coming out, and by that time it might be too late.
Right.
So yeah, keeping some distance. And actually, from my experience as an energy advisor, it does actually heat up the room better when you allow the space, because it allows for airflow and the heat to actually travel to the rest of the room. So that's another thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I see you got the electric scooters and the bikes.
Yeah.
In the sockets. So what is the best way to charge these things? Because they have to be charged.
Yes.
So what are you recommending?
Allow time for it to be charged. Follow the instructions from what it says. Keep an eye on it. Don't let it charge excessively, because that's where the issues arise. Once it's charged, the battery has reached capacity. If you do leave it plugged in, some of these products don't have the correct cut-off limiter, if you want to phrase it as such.
Oh, and so certain products do tend to, yes, they switch themselves off, don't they? Once you've charged.
Some of them do have smart, like smartphones, for example. They do limit the charge once it's reached capacity. So, but not all of them have that. And it's always better to be safe, because what if that function fails, for example? It's just better to be safe. So follow the instructions of the manual. Yeah. Keep an eye on it. Don't leave it unattended. Don't leave your home when something out of that capacity is charging, like power tools and stuff like that. Have it checked in, and just make sure it's unplugged by the time you go to bed. Okay.
So let's talk about what to do should something, whilst you're home, should something catch fire. I remember a few years ago, somebody that I'd worked with had an electrical fire, and it was from an adapter.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it was from an adapter. And they saw, and fortunately they were up at that particular time of night, and they were able to, everybody got out safely and did whatever to do. But electrical fires are tricky, aren't they? So like, what is the advice should you find something, so you're in and something sparks and then starts to flame? What's the advice?
So the advice is to try and keep calm. If you do see something that's alarming, try to keep calm. Ensure that there's a pathway for all the occupants of the home to leave safely in an orderly manner. It's not really your job to be investigating what the cause is. If you see there's a fire, it's time to get out. By that time it's a bit too late. So
so don't try and unplug it. Don't try and
if it's smoking up, or even that, it's probably already too late to. If you can cut off the power to it, but even touching it could cause you harm. I wouldn't recommend that.
You're right.
Call the emergency department as soon as you're safe. Get into a position where you're safe and away from the danger, and call the emergency department to come. Another thing is have working smoke alarms in every floor of the house. They'll alert you quicker, rather than you walking into a room and it's full of smoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not trying to tackle the fire, which is one of the things that we.
Unless you're trained.
Unless you're trained,
because you have to have a proper fire extinguisher for different sort of fires, right? So electrical fire, you would have to have that in your home, and you have to be trained on how to use it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend the average civilian to be tackling
No. Why would I contact you, your company, to come and visit my house, to come and check and what have you? Why would we do that? So why would we do that, and then how would we do that?
Sure. So like Donna just said, we are a non-profit independent charity, so we're not tied to the government by any chance like that. What we do free energy advice. We do target vulnerable individuals such as pensioners, children under 5 years old, anybody receiving benefits with any disabilities, but it is open to the general public. So even if you don't meet those circumstances, we are willing to come out and help you. We do offer telephone consultations if you're not happy for us to come to your home, which I completely understand, stranger coming to your home. It's just with a home visit, we can help a little bit more. I can see firsthand the issues in the house. I can check things like your boiler settings. I can check your thermostats, your radiator settings. I have a look at your bills to check if that's the right tariff for your home. We check your light bulbs as well. So if you've not got energy saving light bulbs, we can switch those out for you. And all of this is completely free. It comes at no cost to you. We're fully funded, like we said. So we're just trying to make people more aware of carbon footprint, which is one of my passions. I'm trying to get people to use less so we can, save the planet that we live on, but also save you some money, and you can spend that money elsewhere instead of giving it to these large corporations that are making millions. So that's what we do. We do, like I said, the telephone consultations, home visits. The measures that we give you are completely free. The advice that we give you as well, we give you energy saving advice on how to use your appliances more efficiently. One that I like to tell people about is the washing machine. So modern washing machines have a program called Eco 4060 or Super Eco Wash, something along those lines. You can save up to 2/3 by using that, although it takes longer. So for my house, for example, it takes about 3.5 hours to do my Eco Wash. My mixed wash costs takes about 1 hour. The mixed wash costs about 60p. The Eco Wash drops down to about 25 pence. And they say it even cleans better because it soaks the clothes. So the reason that it uses less energy is that it spins slower and uses a lower temperature. So that's the reason that it uses less energy. So you can, if you don't take my word for it, you can check your information booklet that you can read at the back, and it'll show you the consumption rates, and you can check it across that. But we have loads of little tips. We can give more bespoke advice when I do come to your house. So that's what we offer, and I don't think there's anything to lose. I'm very proud to represent this company. We have helped a lot of people. I personally have saved people thousands of pounds across my time here. So to get in touch with us, we do recommend signing up online. We have a website, so it's www.groundwork.org.uk. There you can read more about what we do, about the environmental aspect. But you just click on the Green Doctor link and you can sign yourselves up online. We do have a phone line, but because we are a charity, we don't really have a call center. So some of the times we aren't able to get to the phone. But I will just read out the number now. So it's a Nottingham-based line. So it's 0115 978 8212. I'll say that one more time. 0115 978 8212. Alternatively, you can just email us at greendoctor@groundwork.org.uk. So that would be greendoctor, all one word, @groundwork.org.uk. So those are the three ways of getting in contact with us. The sign up form online is very straightforward. Takes about a minute to sign up. And then we'll give you a call and get you booked in.
Excellent. That is excellent. Thank you very much. Now, I do just want to go back to the washing machine thing.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of washing.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And so why does it take, why are the programs longer? Why do they have to be so much slower than a different program? Say.
Okay. So you'll notice that it does like intermittent. Sorry.
Intermittent.
I can't get the word out.
It's okay. Yeah.
Intermittent spinning. So it'll spin for a bit and then stop.
Right.
I'm not too sure as to why it is, but the way that the mechanism works, it uses less energy of the spinning around. Oh. Now, for example, if you use like a super fast wash, you'll notice that it's violently spinning and the motor is working overtime. It's like similar to like when you're driving in your car, when you crank the accelerator down all the way, you're burning a lot more fuel, right? But if you have it on like a slow burner, you're not using as much fuel. But I do want to make people aware that using the fast cycle is not bad. It still actually uses roughly it's not much more energy than the eco cycle, and it is good for like small loads, for example. So if you only got a few clothes, a fast cycle is fine to use. The eco is just what we recommend for like bigger loads, like if you're doing your bed sheets and stuff like that as well. Okay. Yeah. Right. So yeah, the reason is that it does intermittent spinning, and just the way the mechanism works, and the motor for the drum, that's the most efficient way of using it. Yeah, because I think for me anyway, you want to get your washing done. You might only have a certain amount of time, right? And it's one of those things that you can actually leave your house with. You know, you can put your washing in and leave your house. Yeah. But if I'm in and I'm doing what I need to do, you know, I'm doing my washing, I want to know, right, okay, I don't want to wait too long. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to put it on a cycle that suits the clothes that I'm washing. And I often think to myself, right, yeah, I want to use the eco cycle, but you know, I haven't got 3 hours to wait. You know what I mean? I haven't got 3 hours, but that's interesting. Yeah. That's interesting information, and that's great to know. Yeah, it applies to dishwasher as well. Oh, tell me about the dishwasher. It's the same thing, same principle. Same? Yeah, so you should have a program called Eco, something along those lines. Yeah. Again, it'll take a little bit longer, but same principle. The reason is that it's just trying to save you. It uses the energy more efficiently, so it spreads it out a little bit longer, but less time. Okay, all right. Right, Fayad, thank you very much. It's been really interesting listening to you, and you know, with the things that you've talked about. The safety aspects, and you know, the to-dos and not to do. So I've learned something here today. So thank you for coming in. And what do we just remind people where they can get hold of Groundworks and Green Doctor? Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me also. It's been an absolute pleasure. You're more than welcome. Glad that I was able to pass on some information. That's always a plus. So, again, our organisation is Groundwork 5 Counties. You can find us online at www.groundwork.org.uk. You can read about other things that we do. Like I said, we do also do employability support. So if you are looking to get some help, we can get in touch. What does that mean, employability support? So people who are looking to get back into work after some time off for different reasons, like health issues, for example, or if they've been in the system or something along those lines, we do offer them like CV support, interview techniques, things like that as well. It's called Beyond Barriers. Okay. If you've got language barriers as well, so we try to help you and support you getting back into work. So that's another service that we do offer. Okay. Again, you can read all about everything that we do on our website, www.groundwork.org.uk. Alternatively, email us at greendoctor@groundwork.org.uk and we can get in touch. Or you can give us a call on 0115 978 8212. That's amazing. Thank you very much for coming in, Fayad. And if you've got anything else that, you know, in the future, do not hesitate to give us to get in touch with us and let us know. Fantastic. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Right.